thank you for joining us once again on R7 Radio /video. We are here today with We Are Called. I'm going to pan this around. You guys are going to, just so you understand, my camera broke. It's on the, here, I'll show you. Woke camera. So I'm going to pan this around. Is that showing you guys good? Everybody say hi. This is We Are Called. That's not We Are Called. He's just hanging out with us. But these are all We Are Called.
Hey.
Pretty good. All right. So I think what we're going to do is I'm just going to start asking questions, and we're just going to do the best we can to use this camera, do all we can with what we have for the glory of the Lord. So if we start here, and go ahead and tell us who you are. Nathan is not in We Are Called. He's just hanging out with us at Dry Creek. And then there's a troublemaker behind him named Jonathan. Raise your hand, Jonathan. There you go. All right, and we'll start with Mom over here. Introduce yourself. Tell us your name. And
my name is Pamela Elizabeth, and I'm the mom.
And then,
I'm Gary. I'm the dad and Pam's husband.
and let's see if we can get a good shot over there. How's that? Is that good?
I'm Grace, and I play the guitar.
Did you say your name was Jason?
Grace.
Oh, Grayson.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I play piano and a little bit of guitar for the band.
And she tells really good jokes.
I do.
And
I'm Jonathan, and I'll play the electric guitar for the band.
he runs around with his guitar, which is really cool. And
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I run lighting and the sound now.
Hey,
And?
I'm DJ. I play guitar and I sing some. Brother to the kids here, son to dad, husband to wife. So yeah, it's good. And I'm the son of Mom as well.
all the appropriate relationships. That's very good. You'll notice there are no liberal relationships there. They're all good conservative, like we like them on this show. Okay, so here we are at Dry Creek Camp. This is our praise and worship leaders for the week. And so I'm just going to kind of go around. We're going to just talk a little bit about where y'all come from, how you got your start, how did the Lord put you together? Because I've watched some YouTube videos, and there are some YouTube videos that don't have a couple of these in there that seem like they're older videos. So there's been a few changes in the group through the years, and we're going to get a good shot of some paint and some fingernails over here. You got that? There we go. You got to do what you can when you can for the glory of the Lord. So I'll tell you what. Let's start with you, DJ. Why don't you tell us? Let me see if I can get this on you really good. Kind of just give us the background of the group. One of the things everybody's going to want to know. First of all, what kind of is your style of music? You're Christian, but you're not Christian grunge, right? So tell us a little bit about the background of the group.
Yeah, well, our style it's been really different because it's hard to say we're this specific genre, just because we've been able to relate with young people, but also been able to relate with the older generation. And we began the band, I guess we could say we began the group in July of 2012, and that's when we were living in Branson, Missouri. And we were working in the theaters there and around the different, just all the deals that go on with Branson. We were all plugged in there as a family. And we loved playing music. My parents, they traveled and played music for a long time. And so we loved playing music, but we had our jobs there in Branson. And so we just started getting together with some guys at our church and some friends of ours just to hang out and play. Just to enjoy, worshiping and just playing music.
Right, yeah.
And there was I guess you could call them just a nonprofit organization there in Branson that they would feed the homeless people in the area. And they invited us out one time to come play for them because they would feed them, I believe it was every month. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, hey, why don't y'all come and just play some music, just to kind of be in the air. And so we did. And then we kept on getting asked back some more times. And eventually it just grew where we were kind of known in the area through that. And there was a pastor who was hosting a D Now event, a Discipleship Now, at a church, and they had a band that canceled on them last minute. And because of that cancellation, one of the guys at this nonprofit, he, I guess you could say, he just told them about us. And they were like, "Oh yeah, send them our way." And then it was just me and my dad, and we had some other members from the area, and they're all still heavily involved in music and ministry, and so it's really cool to see that. But they invited us to the D now, and God moved in such a huge way. And when it came time for the invitation, just God, you could tell God was in it. You know, kids getting right with the Lord, getting saved, and, you know, all those Christians encouraged to grow closer to God. It was just so cool. And it was there that we realized, hey, this is what God wants us to do.
Yeah.
And so it just grew from there. That started in 2012. And whenever we surrendered to do that, we signed our first record deal in 2013. And with that, we had
The Lord was moving pretty quick.
Yes, a lot quicker than we could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Just because normally that stuff takes time.
Yeah.
And so we started in 2012, signed our first record deal in 2013, and by the end of 2013, we had a song that was really big on the Christian contemporary charts, which really helped us out. Our first tour we ever did, we were gone for 3 months straight. So it was really entertaining. It was really fun to see. It had its challenges, but it was good. It was really good.
And we ate a lot of pizza.
We ate a lot of pizza.
Pizza.
Right. And so it started off with the two of you, and now how did y'all just come up one day and say, hey, we want to be in, or what? Tell us, how did you get?
Well, in 2013, they asked me to start playing piano for them, and that's when I started. Yeah.
Now, did you already play piano, or did you have to learn to be in the band?
I already played a little bit, but then as they asked me, I took some more lessons just to expand my knowledge in that.
Okay. And what's your name?
Yeah.
I mean, I know what your name is, but and what about you, Gracie? Did you?
I didn't start, I didn't join the band until 2014, and I had been playing bass prior before, but I didn't actually play in the band for that.
So, and you have tell them about your bass a little bit. It's
I have
a
a hot
unique
pink Dean bass guitar with lime green.
lime green strings. All right. And how did you get your start in running around the sanctuary with a wireless guitar?
They kind of asked me what I kind of wanted to play in the band. And I chose guitar.
He was always very good at just kind of picking up anything he played with. He's great at singing harmony. He's natural. He doesn't have to try. You know, he's great, beautiful voice. And so whenever he got to working on guitar, he just picked it up really quick.
Now, does everybody sing too?
Everybody sings.
What do you
yes.
sing?
What do I sing?
Yeah, do you sing at all?
I do, just not with them
Yes.
yet.
just in the trailer.
I don't know how good it is.
Yeah. No, but go ahead and tell everybody, how did you get involved with the family? This was, I believe, a ring of some type was involved.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
We dated for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and he took forever to propose. And I don't know, we got married. We had a 2-week honeymoon, and then we got on the bus.
It really was a
So
God thing.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. It was crazy, but we knew God was all in it.
Yeah.
So it was
It's great
awesome.
when you're living for the Lord. You know, you're always going, where am I going next? And then you get there and you go, oh, that's what he was
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. That's really cool.
But as a family, we've known Taylor since she was about 9 years old.
Oh, really?
We knew what
Okay.
we were getting, and she's from a family in ministry.
Now, are you
She
from?
just jumped right in there.
Are y'all from? I mean, did you start off in Branson, lived in Branson, or were you somewhere else and then went to Branson?
Yeah, we were somewhere else. I grew up in a family that traveled in a bus. It's we do sing in Southern Gospel style.
Right.
And so all my life I was traveling in a bus.
Right.
I don't think I remember anything prior to that. And then we began at Psalms Camp in Arkansas, which is where my folks are from.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we did that, they put us off the road for a bit, but then we were really anxious to get back on the road. So Pam and I began to do a little bit of traveling on the side. And that just developed, and the first thing you know, we wanted to go north. We worked in Branson a few times along the way, and I loved Branson. I always said, one of these days, I'm going to live there, I'm going to work there,
Yeah.
and go over that. So we said we lived up there for about 10 years, maybe a little longer. We lived there, worked in some of the shows like Providence, and we worked at Eureka's Branson back and play. We had a morning show there. We had Sunday celebration, which was a theater church. Just a tremendous time.
Yeah.
Serving with your family and, for the Lord, seeing great things happen. And then, as DJ was saying, just begin to play. And then we had opportunities to play all over the place in theaters and outdoor venues.
Okay, so let's go back to, so you sign a deal. And then the next thing you know, is it the Dove Awards? I've seen some pictures. What did you guys go to? It was an awards
Yeah, we
program.
went to the Dove Awards a couple times. We're going back this year.
Uh-huh.
So we did a lot of that.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And so you get there, they roll out the red carpet, and you do the whole thing with the lights, and it's pretty fun,
And you
huh?
get to meet people that you just been talking to on Facebook, or so you get to meet them and hang out.
Yeah, you get to actually like go get coffee or something like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, I didn't spend time in Branson other than when I was in the Passion Play and living that scene up in Eureka Springs. You could go, if you were a part of the Passion Play, you could go to anything in Branson for free. So this has been about 25 years, 30 years ago. And I was much thinner, and I was a Roman soldier. And so we just had a great time. And so I kind of understand that culture. And it's quite a draw, isn't it? I mean, it's a fun, it's almost, the whole town is almost like your family once you're part of it.
It's a family place.
Yeah.
We used to get out, after we do the night performance or something, we'd get out and walk the streets. It was safe.
Yeah,
You could do a lot of things like that.
Right.
Of course, you met a lot of other families doing the same thing. It was like almost stepping back in time.
yeah. And so for those that are listening to the show or watching the show, they don't know Branson, but I mean, they've got all kinds of attractions. They've got, one of the things that shocked me the most about Branson was the Shoji Tabuchi, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
His show, I thought, because somebody says, oh, you need to come see this, and I'm like, violin or something, I don't know. But man, it was a rocking show. It was pretty good. You guys ever seen that?
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Six has a great show there, of course.
Yeah.
Sight and Sound is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You have to go see Sight and Sound with Bill Branson.
Yeah. Have you seen anything recently?
I haven't been up there.
I think we got
we've been up
Samson
there to
show.
perform. We go to Silver Dollar City,
Samson,
perform there with the Young Christians weekend.
Uh-huh.
We've been blessed to go back. I think we're
Yes, sir. Right. Yeah, really cool, and of course, Silver Dollar City.
Yeah.
Steal your Dollar City, as we refer to it. And they have some great, I went up there and watched, I'm a big Christmas fanatic, and so I went up there and I watched the, it's the one that it snows at the
Yeah.
end on the crowd.
It's the one Friday that they do the Dickens.
Christmas Carol. Yeah, that was awesome. It snows on the crowd at the end. And I'm sitting there, I gotta let everybody see what I was doing. So Nani's with me and I'm going, and I'm trying to catch it. She's like, you have no idea what that's made of or where it's been. My wife, the nurse. So, all right. So, okay, so you guys got this going on. Now this is not a small family, and you guys are in this bus together. How's that go?
It's an adventure.
It is an adventure, but it's a good, it's really nice. The way the bus is laid out, man, it was such a blessing. And the story of how the Lord blessed us with that is like a forever long story.
I've heard a little bit of that
Yeah.
because when I first met you guys, you were down in Zachary, Louisiana, down at Milldale. And what had just happened? The flooding, right? It was the
Yes.
bad flooding. And you guys, what were you down there doing? You were down there helping
We had
out?
come from somewhere in Mississippi. We came over to, was it the Salem?
the conference and they had to cancel the conference.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then who we helped, we did a bunch of disaster relief.
Right.
But I always say as far as the bus, it's very nice and it sucks a lot of fuel, but most people don't want to pay the price. The spiritual warfare that went beyond to get there to be able to have that blessing.
Right.
In 2015, they were able to travel 23 states doing a lot of homeless mission projects. And for us, that was just huge to see. We've been out, Jerry's been all over the world. DJ's been in mission work, very extensive. But to be here in America, to see such a need firsthand,
Yeah.
it was just an eye-opener, especially for our kids.
Yeah. I had heard one story about you guys coming with your bus and like the water was like almost coming to the door or something.
Yeah.
And
Actually, yeah, we woke up, I think it was a Friday. We woke up and the church was flooded. And so, man, we went in real quick and they were pushing water out, trying to get everything situated and moved. And the guy told us, if you're getting out of here, you better go now, So some other guys came in and said, all the roads are shut down. And one of the guys there, who'd been there, one of the original guys, said, hey, here's how you can get out of here. I just came that way. It's the only way I know that you can get out. So this was in the morning, it's about 9:30. So, man, I run to the bus, crank up, we air up, and we take off, and of course, we go the way he's telling us to go.
Yeah.
And when we get about a mile from the church, or from the grounds of Milldale, the roads are all blocked. So DJ gets out and moves the roadblock. We go through it, and he pulls it back, and then we go through a bunch of water. And on this bus, you can raise it up. You know, air button, you can raise the thing up really high off the ground, like
Nice.
on wheels, you know.
Yeah.
It's a good, really, really nice little perk to it. So we did that, and it was okay, but the further we went, the more water we got into.
Incredible.
And it wound up being an all-day thing to get out, but we flooded the bay. The water, as you know, as you step up into the bus, you step up pretty high.
Right,
The
yeah.
water was right there where I sit, level with me,
My goodness.
inside the bus, and
Yeah.
was raised up. So we knew it was inside the bays. So.
And is all your equipment? in
Yeah,
the
all the
bay?
equipment.
Oh,
Then
my
we didn't
goodness.
have the trailer. All the equipment was in the bay, so we was able to find a place to get off. It was a truck stop somewhere back in the woods
Wow.
back in there. So we got off and got all the equipment out, and it was flooded. Everything was flooded. And the amps, all the water was in the amps, you know, the back where the speakers are. There's a little
Yeah.
Just dumping
tray
water
thing,
out.
was just dumping water out.
Oh, my goodness.
And we just thought, man, that's the end of all this stuff. The keyboards have water in it. They got hair dryers out. They're just trying to do all this stuff, you know, right there in the parking lot. And a dear friend, a brother I've known for almost all my life, called Paul Taylor. He's a pastor down in South Louisiana. He called and said, man, listen, because we had to be in Mississippi for a concert.
Right.
And so he said, there's one way out. I can tell you how to do it. So he gave us some directions, how to wiggle through some back roads, some little places, and was able to do it. Went through a little bit of water, but we never did get back up inside. And we made it to the interstate and was able to get across. We had to go all the way into like Lafayette, go up to Alexandria,
Incredible.
and that way over to
Yeah. So were y'all freaking out?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
honestly. I freaked out. I went to my bed, I lay down to pray. I was like,
I'll bet there was a lot of prayer going on that
I
day.
was.
Yeah.
I wasn't even there, but my husband's dramatic. And so he's texting
Sure.
me, and everything that happened, he's texting me like, oh no, we're about to go in. And I'm just like,
Well, it was
We're gonna
rough,
die.
especially when all you know is you're following state trucks. Then they're going through water that's up to their door handles.
Yeah.
And all we can do is follow them to make sure we stay on the road.
he's
You know,
sending me
It was
videos.
intense.
and-
Right. You're like, I don't want to worry you, honey, but we
But-
saw a line of animals, 2 by 2 lining up down there. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are doing concerts all over. The Lord's working, and how do you end up? Tell us how you go. How do you end up at camps? I mean, you guys do a lot of camps, right? Okay, tell us a little bit about that. We'll start
This
here.
I believe this is camp number 8 this summer.
Huh.
And really, honestly, it's an all God thing, because we're just willing to say, you know, wherever you open the door up, we'll go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course, with being in a bus, finances are sometimes a problem. You know, we like to take, you know, care of fuel costs, because that tank is how many gallons?
A lot. I don't really
Like,
It's a lot.
I know to spend about $300, you get half a tank.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with all that, but at the same time, we make places, we let them know that, you know, if it's not in their budget, we'll work with them. We're flexible because we know that God owns it all.
Right.
You know, as you know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so God will provide. We're not worried about that. So with all these camps, it's just been a God opportunity that He's opened up at different places.
Yeah.
To be at camp in Gulf Shores a couple weeks ago, that was a God thing. To be in Texas for a few camps, now Dry Creek, and we're having a great time here.
Yeah.
It's just truly a God thing.
Yeah, it's
That's
really,
all I can say.
Yeah, really incredible. And so, okay, so school. Tell us about school. Like, all my kids are homeschooled, so I'm assuming that they're not driving you back to school every day, right?
So we're all
is-
homeschooled.
Yeah. So, are you enjoying that? Is it?
Yeah, I graduated from high school this last year.
Oh, okay. And how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 16.
And how old are you, Mom? No, I can't. and how old are you?
I'm 14.
Okay. So you're still in school, and you're still in school. Is that right? Okay.
You gave yourself college here.
Yes.
Now, are you going to home college, or are you actually going off somewhere? Or
I'm
what do you-
going to do online classes from Liberty.
Oh, okay.
University.
I've done some Liberty online classes.
sir.
Good school. Yeah. Chriswell as well. I've done a few of those, and those are pretty good. Okay, so how is it to try to do all this on the bus when you're traveling? I mean, you know, inquiring minds want to know.
I get pretty motion sick, like a lot. when we're
Oh
traveling.
my gosh, how does that work?
A lot of our stuff is like deal with it, but once we get on those Louisiana roads, I can't.
Some of them roads in Arkansas are.
Yeah.
Those 2-lane roads are
I'm
rough.
convinced
Yeah.
nobody that built roads in Arkansas were sober with it. Those things are-
Everybody.
So Mom, are you in charge of school? Are you the teacher, or is it a combination effort, or how's that work?
I am, and, well, we just make it work.
Yeah.
We make it work.
Yeah.
It's been good.
You know what I love about I got some trouble at my church one time because I said an uneducated child is better off than a child educated in the public school system, and I think you guys.
No, you were really glad.
Yeah.
The
What-
kids were in public school for a little bit. you know.
And so were mine. But that's why we were so glad when we got them out. I was just stunned to find out some of the things that were going on. And that was in Arkansas. But, which was still pretty good. They weren't, it's not like they were outlawing straws or anything. So. Okay.
It just works. We get to serve together
Right.
and.
But I imagine it's a lot of prayer time, huh? Being in the close quarters. You've got to.
We do. We crucify self up probably all the time, right?
Yeah, every day.
A lot of surrendering and, just.
But what a chance for growth, I would imagine too. Now, so are y'all obviously got to be close. You have no choice. But what about other friends? I know people out there. I've actually had this question before, doing interviews with people who travel like that. What about outside friends? I mean, is it mostly Facebook friends, or do you have friends from home?
Back home, we're really connected with our youth group, and so we like to connect with them when we're gone through social media. But when we're there, we try to get together as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
We always heard when we were homeschooling our kids, well, what about their social life? I assure you, my children have no problem with their social life.
No,
You find out.
Yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody in this group is really overly shy, except for I haven't heard from you a lot. So we want to concentrate over here a little bit. I just got to know, tell us how the glasses came about. So you've got this whole brand thing going on that, and here, show us your glasses. We even have, put them on, let's see them. This is the thing. It's going to be huge in Hollywood. We've got black socks, and now we're going to wear these glasses. So those are cool. So tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, like.
First of all, I couldn't see, so I had to have glasses.
No, there's this like older artist called Buddy Holly. Or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah, he had
Older
those
artist.
kind
Ancient. He sang back when the dinosaurs were still running around. Yeah.
But he had some glasses like that,
Yeah.
and Dad and me were just like, "Hey, that's a good idea."
That is really cool. And it seems to go over really well. I mean,
It looks good on them.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I remember the first time I saw you wearing those, I even said to my wife, "Hey man, it's a little Buddy Holly over there. Check that out." And that's actually what I said. So, and so do you go around singing "Oh, I look just like Buddy Holly"? Do you even know that song?
That's
Okay, so great. So here we are, Dry Creek Camp. What's next? What's next for We Are? Well, let's do that first. Before we say what's next, how did we come up with We Are Called? Did you sit down with a piece of paper and go, okay, come up with names? Let's see, bread and butter. No, that's not it. How did that name?
Well, really, Dad, it was one of those things where we were like, okay, so a band name is important because people are going to be calling you that
Sure.
from now on. You
Well,
know?
it's got to fit on hats and shirts.
Exactly. And whenever we were at this D Now, which we've been back to that D Now several times, the youth pastor that brought us in really connected with him still. But whenever we realized we were called to do this, Dad was like, that sounds like a good name. And at first it was The Called. And we were like, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And so it kept on growing and eventually came up with We Are Called. And
I gotta
even
tell you, I like
the letter
We
R.
Yeah,
you know,
it's really cool. And I like We Are Called better than The Called because The Called sounds a little bit like a zombie movie. Really, but We Are Called is pretty cool. That's a great name. And it's, I was thinking as I was sitting out there, I was listening to y'all play and watching you do your thing. And I was thinking, what would be cool is a shirt that we could buy that said something like We Are Called, and on the back it said to. Like as well. And so
Oh, yeah. We may
people
have
could
to do
buy it and
that.
Say We Are
Yeah.
Called, to.
The ultimate Hoover collection.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So anyway, very cool. All right, well, it looks like, okay, good. I was afraid that was my battery, but this is just somebody trying to make money. It's that McAfee thing keeps coming up. Okay, so now let's do what's next. Where y'all headed? We're done with Dry Creek in 3 more days, and then
We load up and we head to Arkansas,
Yeah,
to Monticello.
Monticello,
Yeah.
Arkansas, which is not too far from where we live. So it's going to be nice to see familiar faces.
is it okay to say where you're from? I mean, is that, or you got people
Yeah.
knocking on your door?
Yeah, we can.
We
Uh,
wouldn't
They
be
couldn't
able
find
to
it,
find
people out
it.
yeah, yeah, we're too far out in the middle of
Hey, you were
nowhere.
telling the story the other day. Are you still at the hill?
We're still at the hill.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. So you're out in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of like Piney Point. Hey, you guys have been to Piney Point. we had a guy named Olivier Melnick who's a Messianic Jew come to speak to us, and he calls me, and he's coming out there. And he goes, he's got this accent, you know. He says, Hoover, my GPS says I am at Piney Point. I am sure I am not here. I have trees on my right, trees on my left, trees in front. There is no church. And I said, well, go another half mile. And he called me back. He said, yes, I found it. Okay. So our church is out. You guys are coming up there pretty soon, right?
Yeah,
You guys are
coming
coming
up.
You're
We
good?
do Sunday at Monticello.
At Monticello.
And then, we get to go home to our home. We haven't been there since June, 1st of June.
Yeah, we'll be there for about 4 days,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna be in our home church area
Uh-huh.
of Warren, Arkansas. We'll be there for an event on that Thursday. On that Friday, we have to be at a grape festival up near Rogers,
Uh-huh.
and then
Is that the Grape Festival out in
Yeah,
Tiny Town?
yeah, yep, that's
oh,
it.
yeah, it's very famous.
Yeah,
up
we'll
that
be
way.
there. Yeah.
You know, when you think Grape Festival, the word famous doesn't exactly go with that, but it is, in that area. In fact, we have a gal that goes to my school at Ecclesia where you guys
Yes,
will
we'll be there,
performing
fall
out there.
Sunday, yeah.
And she was, 2 years ago, she was the queen of the Grape Festival. So she's very proud of that title. And I asked her one day, I said, what's this thing on your Facebook? And she went, I was the queen of the Grape Festival. Oh, okay, cool. So it's just, I mean, are you guys booked, I mean, all the time? Is it a
We're booked through December this year.
Days this year.
Yeah.
And and when we had those filled, then we just started filling in different spots that we could, fit in.
Yeah. So let's say there's somebody out there watching. We got a pastor. I get, I have like 7 worldwide listeners, and so they want to contact you and they want you to come and perform. So you just get on your website, Facebook.
Yeah.
Fill us in there, DJ.
We're on our. You can find us on our website. You can contact us there or on Facebook. Our website is www. And then it's the letter R, called, CALLED.
Okay.
And, .com. Yeah.
Okay, and so you've got a some music that you've put out. Where can they get that? If they go to iTunes or where all can they?
We're working on releasing some new music, but right now we have one of our songs, "So I'll Come," is on iTunes and Spotify, Pandora, all that kind of online radio stuff.
Yeah,
So they can find us online.
Okay, great. And so they just, if they want to book you, how far in advance do they have to do that? You guys book up pretty quick?
Yes.
Normally we book out.
Yeah.
You can tell.
All of our January is full. We've got, I think, 2 spots in February available. All of June is booked. First week of July is booked. I'm holding a week for a camp that we just did that we're searching to find the right place for. So we only have 2 weeks open in July of next year. And then the scattered dates already booked for that year.
Okay, and I got to ask one more question before we go. I'm just going to pan this around. I want everybody to look here. We got some good-looking kids here. So, Mom, Dad, what do we do with dating? Have we kissed dating goodbye? I mean, you guys are out and gone, and yeah, we
I
just
got a
didn't have
45 handgun every time I touch it.
Yeah, that's right. But seriously, how does that happen?
We're praying.
Yeah.
And that's a part of our prayers. God, give gals and guys the person we have to put plan for them.
Right.
So we're having about praying.
Yeah. We're in our church, we are a little bit radical. People have kind of questioned our methods because we are almost a kiss dating goodbye type of church. We're like, if you're interested in somebody, let us know. We'll see what we're going to do about this. But that's the way I was with my boys. I was like, listen, you just find somebody you want to marry, and I'll check them out, and we'll let you know. So, but are y'all missing that kind of scene? I mean, you got your friends on Facebook. I got this boyfriend. I got this girlfriend. Whatever. Any of that? Any? anytime you go, I kind of wish I was home so I could hang out with Jim Bob or something.
Not really. I mean, everywhere we go.
Julie Joe, I don't know. we're from Arkansas, right? I'm from Arkansas too, so I know. Isn't that funny? All my family, except for me, all my sisters and everything, it's like Sherry Joe. It was one of my sisters, and Ronnie Dale, and it's always so. But y'all don't have the 2-name thing going.
Well, really, everywhere we go, we have friends or who we're close with. So we don't. I mean, we are grateful because we get to do a lot of stuff that most kids don't get to.
Yeah,
So
right.
we get those blessings over the cons that we don't get to.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing I'd heard all my life. We have our DJ, and we had heard growing up, you got to keep church and your family kind of separate almost, and that we just didn't go for that. It was such a part of our lives. And the kids are like, well, we didn't do that thing over there because they were the pastor's kids, But they got to do things like go to Haiti when they were, 12 and 16, and go to Costa Rica and travel and do things like this. So I remember one time a guy called me, and I'd met him in a hotel, not in a hotel, but in an airport. And he said, I'm just amazed. Your boys amazed me because it was summer break and we were taking them to Haiti. It was their school trip. And, we weren't going to Disney. Not that there's anything wrong with going to Disney World, Disneyland, but, they were just tickled about going, on this mission trip. And so a lot of people think you give something up, but you gain so much more, it seems like.
I'll tell you, whenever you do anything for the Lord, He's going to make it so worthwhile.
Yeah, and you've been doing that since. Now, when did you? Let's just cover this real quick. Did you start? I mean, were you just a little guy?
I was a little guy.
Yeah.
My dad and mom began to sing a little bit. My dad was singing church. And then my older brother began to sing with them, and then my second oldest brother began to sing with them, and they had the little quartet thing going on.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to play. My brother, the third son, wanted to play bass. So we joined in a little bit later on and formed the family thing. So we did that all my life, man. Just traveling in a bus, and we'll break down every other trip out. Man. Break down.
Yeah.
So we did that just as far back as I can remember. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
But it was so great then.
It's really interesting, isn't it, that you talk about breakdown and you talk about it with a smile on your face, but isn't it interesting when you're serving the Lord that the things that a lot of people would go, oh, what a bummer, you end up going, what a blessing. Somehow it turns into these.
If I could tell this one, can I make
Yeah,
it,
please.
I'll make it
You got
quick.
plenty of time.
Breaking down all of my life in buses and things, and we still have issues, but not nearly like it was. God's really blessed us. But when something would go wrong in the bus, I would always say as I'm driving, I'd see an issue, and maybe it would be the air pressure, maybe not coming up where it needs to be. We had a couple issues with that, and I would just say, Lord God, if you would just speak from the throne, if this thing be fixed, it would be fixed. If
Yeah.
you just speak it.
Yeah.
And I would remind him of our day. We got to get this church to set up for in the morning. I'm just reminding him.
Yeah.
And if you would just speak it, God, my faith is strong. I know that it would be fixed. And of course, he would. We'd have to stop and find somebody. And so this is something I learned last year, and I couldn't believe that I spent a lifetime and not getting it until last year. We were going from the north to the south. We were going to go through to Quincy. We was going to Brother Roland's church.
Uh-huh.
So we're going on Saturday to set up for Sunday morning. We were leaving there. We was headed to Texas. Going to go out with some dear friends are out at Waco, get to do some things out there. And then going up into Missouri and all that. So we're going, and we're on time. Everything's going great. And the air pressure, I'm noticing the air pressure falling, and it's not picking up. And it gets lower and lower and lower. Now it's about 60, and I realize we got a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to the Lord. I'm saying, Lord God, if you just speak it, we got to get to the church, we got to get set up, and the morning thing to do, and Lord, if you just speak it, it would be fixed, And then it's still just kind of coming on down about 50, and just kind of staying there. And I'm trying to make some bargains with the Lord. If you fix it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give up hunting for the whole year. I throw away the fishing pole.
Right.
I don't even think about those things.
Yeah.
You just speak it from the throne, but he wouldn't do it. So I'm thinking that up ahead there's a place called Quitman, Louisiana. Okay? So I said, I remember going through there the old way before they built the bypass, and there was a bunch of trucks. And so I'm trying to remember what that was, and I can't, but I'm thinking it's right up the road, so I'm going to turn off, and maybe it's a mechanic shop, or maybe they'll know somebody, since there's a lot of trucks. And so I turn off, and when we turn off, I see the trucks, and they're still there parked on the side. And I'm pulling up, and I see a gentleman and his wife sitting in a couple chairs in front of the building. So, thank you, Lord. Somebody's here. You know, this is a Saturday, you know. So we get out, and he's up, and he's walking to the bus, and I tell him who we are, where we're going. We got an air problem. And he says, man, my son is the best mechanic around here. He was working in this shop when he was in diapers all his life. He's the best one around. He said, let me call him and see where he's at. So he calls him, and he's just right down the road. So he comes over, we tell him what we know, and gets under the bus, finds the problem, immediately takes it off, rebuilds it in the shop, you know, and puts it back on, and we head on our way. We make that trip, go up to Missouri. It's now, a couple months later. That was September. Now it's November. We headed back to Sulphur, Louisiana, to Dear Brothers Church at what's it called? Parkview. So we're going, and another problem, another issue with the air. So thinking, well, right down the road again, there's equipment in the same place. And so I pull in there, and I'm thinking, man, Lord, it's a Saturday. If this guy's here, that would be great, you know. And sure enough, when I turn off the highway, I see him walking. Thank you, Lord, he's here, you know. So we get out, and we spend now the rest of the day there.
Yeah.
It's probably noon, I would say, right? And probably noonish, something like that. And we're there now till up in the evening. You know, again, we're supposed to be at this church Saturday night or
Right.
Saturday evening to set up for Sunday. And so, anyway, he gets it fixed. We're on our way. He tells me a story about somebody that he knows in Lake Charles, and we talk a little bit about that. And we leave, go do the thing. And after the service Sunday, we get packed up to head back to Arkansas and crank up, and the air doesn't come up.
Oh my goodness.
So, man, I'm revving it up. We're looking, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. Finally, it comes up to about 40 pounds of pressure. So we take off, and it's part of the air ride, so it's really rough.
Yeah.
So we make it about an hour to a place called Oakdale. And we get in the Walmart parking lot, we jack the bus up, DJ gets underneath it, and he's under there trying to find where this leak is, and all he hears is air everywhere, just air coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're there for several hours, right, trying to figure this out, and we can't do it. So then I call this guy. And I'm thinking, well, if we can just make it on up to, the equipment's about rusting. It's from Oakdale, it's what, several hours. You know, so I'm thinking maybe we can.
Maybe we limp it in there.
Yeah, if we just get there, it'll be okay, you know. So anyway, I called to see if maybe he's around, and sure enough, he answers the phone. And first thing he asked was, how was the concert? And it was great. It was a great morning, man. People were saved, and the pastor was encouraged. It was tremendous. And he began to share that's what he needed in his life. So, man, just the conversation turned immediately from the bus problem to his soul.
Yeah.
You know? And anyway, we talked, and we went through all about what salvation is and how a person is born again.
Yeah.
How a person has to repent. And what is that? What does that mean, repent? So we don't really use, but a turning from wherever you're at toward God.
Right.
And interested in obeying Him and letting Him, you know, do His work in it, His will in Him. So we went through that and asked him if he was willing to pray and be saved. He wanted to. He said, I don't know how to pray.
Well.
I said, yeah, sure. I can pray. He said, you pray. I'll pray everything you tell me to pray.
Amen.
So we did that, and he was saved. And when
That's
we hung up the phone, I told him we was going to make it there. You know, it'd be late in the night.
Yeah.
He said, come on, I'll be here. So when I hung up the phone, it hit me. Out of all those years, and this was last year, it hit me that what God is doing, God can speak from the throne.
Yeah.
A fixing or a healing or whatever anyone would want, you know.
Yeah.
No one likes to go to the doctor. No one wants a toothache. No one wants a problem. No one wants an issue. No one wants a breakdown. God can do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, the God we serve, the God that is our Father, stopped time.
Yeah.
He reversed the sun.
Yeah,
Let it go
amen.
backwards.
Right.
I mean, our God, our Daddy can do anything that He wants to do.
Yeah.
And I realized that what He's chosen to do is let us be His hands and feet.
Isn't that great?
And He lets us connect with people, and it takes those issues.
Yeah.
And it took those issues for us to connect with this young man who wasn't saved, but God wanted to save him.
Yeah.
And He knew that if He could just connect us with Him, that he could use us and it would happen.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So now I have a new perspective on breakdowns. Do I like them? Yeah.
Now it starts breaking down. You're like, oh, who needs saved?
Yeah. When something happens, okay, we'll meet somebody.
Right.
It's all about him.
Isn't that great?
And what's the saying you got all these kids saying every time?
Yeah, here at camp we say, you know what? God is in control.
That's it.
That's exactly what we've been studying all week. Well, very cool. Thank you for that story. I appreciate that. And that's the truth, though. And how many times have you been able to look back at things and go, oh, that's what he was doing? Do you have a story you want to share?
No, we've had numerous breakdowns as part of the journey. But
Right.
I will say that we've learned that God is going to stretch our faith until He calls us home.
Yeah. Do you ever get to where you're like, you've seen Fiddler on the Roof, that scene where he says, we're glad we're your chosen people, but can you choose somebody else for a while? You ever feel like, Lord, let's just take a break on the instruction. Can we recess time? No, but he knows what he's doing. He does give us recess, doesn't he? He gives us peace and joy. And all right, anything else we need to talk about that we haven't covered before we get out of here? Because it's getting late and I'm getting tired. Anybody else want to cover anything else?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, his wife makes amazing dip. Just
It wasn't my wife.
oh, your wife did.
She
make
does. Wait a minute.
Oh,
She does make amazing dip.
let's fix that.
Just in case she watches.
Good save.
But that was Pops.
Oh,
Pops. Yeah.
I thought it was your wife.
I know. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. It was good dip, and we had it tonight. Oh, we don't mean like dip in Copenhagen. We mean like dip you put chips in.
Yeah,
Okay.
or crackers. Crackers are good.
That's right. Yeah, good stuff. Corn dip. Yeah, and that's another thing we do here at Dry Creek. We eat a lot. And so I imagine, how do y'all stay so skinny?
You need some glasses.
Well, look at me. I mean, as Baptists, usually where we go, it's fried chicken and
Almost everywhere we go is pizza.
pizza.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of pizza.
That's the thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pizza. I like pizza.
Supreme.
Yes, lots of prayers. Okay, well, I'm all twisted up here. My computer is. So we're gonna shut her down. Thank you for joining me on R7 Video and Radio. And I know you guys. I should have said this a long time ago. Don't try to call in. This is not a live broadcast. So it's really funny if anybody tried to call in. That'll be fun later. Okay, so I'm gonna pray for us. We're gonna get out of here. Wait a minute. I want to show you some more painting going on here. She's been trying to paint them. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Very cool. All right, let me pray for us. Father, we just thank you for this day, and I do want to just pray a special blessing over We Are Called, this wonderful family who it's been my privilege to get to know over the last few days and weeks. And Lord, their heart truly is to serve you and work for your kingdom and advance your glory. And I pray that you would just pour out blessing and blessing and blessing upon them as they continue to work for you. And Lord, would you put many people in front of them from this point forward, whether it's problems with the air or they're good traveling, no matter where they go, that help them to be mindful of the fact that you've just got that next person waiting to hear the great news, the gospel that Jesus Christ died, rose again 3 days later, paid the penalty for our sin. Thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you for this opportunity. We love you and thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Love ya.
Everybody say bye.
Bye.